Some people seem to build wealth without the struggle you experience. Same economy, same opportunities, sometimes less education, less information, less effort, and yet the results are different. The difference is not strategy, it is not luck, it is not even discipline, at least not in the way most people define it. The difference is structural. There is an invisible architecture inside every person who builds and keeps wealth. It has 3 layers, and if any one of them is compromised, nothing you build on top will hold. The first layer is the core. This is the deepest part of your financial identity, your fundamental beliefs about what you deserve, what is possible for you, and what wealth means in your life. The core is not what you say you believe. It is what you believe when no one is watching and nothing is going well. It is the version of yourself that shows up at 3 in the morning when the plan is failing and the doubt is loudest. A person with a stable core does not need external results to maintain internal confidence. Their identity does not fluctuate with their account balance. They can hold a vision of wealth even during a flat period because the vision is anchored in identity, not in evidence. A person with an unstable core toggles between confidence and collapse depending on the most recent data point. Good month, they believe. Bad month, they doubt everything. You met this person in last week's video. They were leak number 2, identity inconsistency. The leak originates here, in the core. If the core is unstable, nothing built on top of it will last. Habits break, boundaries erode, thresholds get abandoned. Not because the strategy failed, but because the person standing behind the strategy did not believe it would work. The second layer is the field. The field is everything that surrounds your core, your daily environment, your habits, your routines, the people you interact with, the information you consume, the physical spaces you occupy. The field is not decorative, it is functional. It either reinforces the core or it erodes it. Every element of your daily environment is either adding structural integrity or quietly removing it. Consider someone with a strong core belief that wealth is possible for them, but their daily environment is chaotic. Their schedule is reactive. Their relationships are financially toxic. Their information diet is anxiety and comparison. The core belief is real, but the field contradicts it 100 times a day. Over time, the field wins. Not because the belief was wrong, but because the environment never supported it. The field is where most self-development fails. People change their beliefs, but not their environment. They upgrade the core, but leave the field untouched. And then they wonder why the new belief does not produce new results. The belief was sound. The structure around it was hostile. The third layer is the boundary. The boundary is the outermost layer of your architecture, the line between your internal system and the external world. The boundary determines what gets in and what stays out. It filters the demands, the opinions, the expectations, the emergencies, and the opportunities that arrive at your door every day. A strong boundary protects the field, which protects the core. A weak boundary lets everything in. Every financial request gets a yes. Every opinion shifts the plan. Every emergency disrupts the structure. The person with a weak boundary is constantly rebuilding because external forces keep destabilizing what they built. You met this person in week 3. They were leak number 3, boundary erosion. Just this once, the phrase that opens the gate. A strong boundary does not mean rigid or closed. It means selective. It means that what enters your financial system has been evaluated, not just received. The healthiest financial architecture looks like this. A stable core that does not waver, surrounded by a field that reinforces it daily, protected by a boundary that filters what gets access. 3 layers, each one supporting the others. Remove any one and the system degrades. If you want to know where your architecture is compromised, here is how to evaluate it this week. For the core, Ask yourself, does my confidence in my financial future depend on my most recent result? If a bad week changes what you believe is possible, the core is not stable. It is reactive. A stable core holds the same vision through good data and bad data. For the field, audit your daily environment. What are the 5 things you spend the most time doing every day? How many of them reinforce the person you are trying to become financially? And how many of them contradict it? If more than 2 contradict it, the field is working against you regardless of what you believe. For the boundary, count the number of times in the last 30 days that you said yes to a financial request or expense that you did not plan for. Not emergencies. Requests, social obligations, opportunities that appeared urgent but were not. Each one is a boundary breach. If the number is higher than 5, your boundary needs structural work. 1 layer, 1 honest evaluation. This week, not all 3. That is overwhelming, and it leads to inaction. Pick the one that made you pause. Evaluate it. Write down what you find. That is the beginning of architectural awareness. The Wealth Codex contains a full architecture self-assessment, a scored diagnostic that evaluates all 3 layers and tells you exactly where your structure is compromised. It also includes the field reading exercise and the boundary audit. If you want to go beyond awareness and into measurement, the link is in the description. Subscribe if you are building something that is meant to last. I will see you in the next one.